welcome to my channel. This is I'm Vanessa McClam, and we are doing a step-by-step makeup tutorial. Today I have on another Ankara head wrap. Check that out, you guys. I will post in the description box where I got the head wrap from, so you guys will know, and you can purchase this if you like. And we're going to start by prepping your face, priming your face. I use the MAC Prime and Prep, so I'm going to spray that lightly on my face. What the Prime and Prep does is it pretty much sets the foundation on your face. So a lot of times we will add the foundation, but it will leak off of our face, so to speak. So that product, the Prep and Prime, is really good at keeping the makeup on your face, and also it finishes the makeup, so you can add that at the end as well. What I am using, I'm actually using something different today for my foundation. I am using the waterproof foundation by MAC. So I'm actually going more for like a waterproof makeup look this time, because I will be out in the heat and I am not trying to melt my makeup. So now after I prep my face with the MAC Prep and Prime, I am going in with, I'm first going to start off with my eyebrows. I always pretty much start on my eyebrows. I'm using Wonder Brow, and it's in the jet black color. So I'm taking my angled brush and I am just painting it on. Now this stuff dries pretty fast, so you just want to make sure that you get the product on fast enough and use it. So you're going to start with your angle pointed downward to kind of shape your brow. So the first thing I do before I start shading in, even if I had a pencil, I would shape my brow first. So this is actually my second time using the Wonder Brow. I really liked it the first time. It does exactly what it says it does. It does not smear, which is awesome. Smudge proof brow gel is what's in right now. So I am lightly shading the inner part of my brows for a more transitioned look. And you're just going to give it a nice shape. Okay, so I'm going to the other side now. This stuff dries pretty fast, so kind of want to move quickly. So again, I'm creating the shape before I fill in, and then you want to make sure that the other eyebrow is just as thick when you're doing this shading technique. So if you notice, I bring my brows kind of toward the center, and that's because I'm going to take a spoolie and just pretty much thin it out so that it looks faded. Okay, so now I'm going to fade between those lines to give it a darker look. So this one here is a little bit too arched, so I'm going to add more Wonder Brow to my brush. You see that? Just painting it on. So right in here is where it's kind of thinner. So let me just add a little more. Now you guys, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to look symmetric. So keep that in mind. Okay, so the thickness of that, add a little more here. Okay, so it's about the same. Just kind of zoom in for you guys, or get closer to the camera so you can see. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Like I said, it doesn't have to be totally perfect, but it doesn't, you don't want to make it look not symmetric. So okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going in with my concealer, and I have a special concealer brush I like to use. It is shaped like this, so I just pretty much dip that in and I trace around my brow like so. Okay, and I flip it to the other end. I start toward the end of the brow because it actually has a lot of product on it, and then I'll go forward with the remaining product because you want to blend more toward the middle of your brow. So you want more product here to kind of help you with blending toward the end. Usually that's where you have your stray hairs that you need to pluck, or tweeze, wax, whatever you do. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same on the other side. I've added more of my concealer to my brush, and I'm going to do the bottom starting here. Okay, and I'm bringing the product down and just kind of blending in a downward motion. Okay, we'll do the same to this side. Okay. So I'm using the MAC concealer, but you guys don't necessarily have to use MAC. I mentioned before that you can do the LA Girls, and it will work just fine. Okay, so it's not totally blended, but I'm going to get another brush, and this is to blend it a little better. This is actually a bigger brush with the same dome shape at the top. Okay, so It's a little bit more blended. Now I'm going to the middle to kind of help with separating those brows. You don't want a unibrow. So I usually blend it, or not blend it, I usually separate it with the concealer. Okay, so you can also take a little spoolie and blend it out even more. So like I was saying, the Wonder Brow really dries quick. So just gotta be quick with it. Okay. There. Okay. Okay, so my eyebrows are pretty much done. Take a look. So you want the shape to look pretty much the same. Symmetry is key. Okay, so now we're going in with my primer for my eyeshadow. We're doing a vivid, bold look today. So this is what the primer looks like. This is a MAC 24-hour Extend Eye Base. And this is how much product I put in my finger. It's actually a little bit too much. I'm separating it. You can actually use one of my fingers. You can use about this much for both of your eyes. So I'm going in with my primer, and I'm putting a little bit on this eye. The primer works really well to make your colors pop. So now I'm going in on the other eye. So I'm just going to add just a little more on this side. There. So I had this much left. So I don't need that. Definitely want to save that primer because it's really, really key to keeping those eye colors popping. Okay, so now the next step that I'm doing is going to add more concealer to the bottom part of my eyes to kind of reduce that under eye circle look. And I'm going to take my brush, concealer brush. This is the bigger blending brush. Because I'm going to cover a larger area, I'm grabbing the bigger brush. And just pretty much blending or pulling that product under my eye. I'll be blending this in shortly. And I like to go right under my eyes. If you notice, the color that I'm using has a yellow or like a golden tone to it. So that is, it doesn't look like it on camera, but my face, my skin color has the gold undertones. So I use that color, which is, I believe it's NC45 or 40. Okay, so now I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to blend with my Kabuki brush. I love this brush. It's so cute. Okay, let me do a little bit up here. Just getting rid of any harsh lines. Okay, so what I also like to do when I'm concealing is I like to add the concealer to my T-zone, like around my mouth and on my chin, also along my nose. So that is when I use my LA Girls Pro Concealer. Where is it? Okay, I have the medium beige. And I just added along the bridge of my nose, around my mouth. That may be a little bright, so I actually use another color that is closer to my skin tone, and that is Fawn and Toffee. So I kind of add those together to kind of give me the color I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm going to blend now with the kabuki brush. Okay, another little trick. I just pretty much blended or used my kabuki brush, and I used it to separate my eyebrows, the product on my kabuki brush. So now there's a more natural look in my brow. And concealer really helps with keeping on your lipstick. It really gives it that crisp look. So, tip. Okay. Yes. Okay, so I have not done my eyeshadow yet, and I'm just now finished with my concealer. I'm going to add another layer later on, but now I want to address my eyes. I have a soft brown eyeshadow. I'm going to take my eyeshadow brush and apply this base color called soft brown. It's about the same color as my skin, maybe a little darker. So I'm just applying it. To my eyes. Yes. Starting to look like something. Okay. So this is like the normal kind of everyday color that you can put on your eye to just have a little bit of pigment, but not go all out. So this is like my everyday color that I would wear on my eyes. Now what we're going to go into is we're going to apply the foundation. So I have the MAC Pro Longwear Nourishing Waterproof Foundation today. I am trying out for the first time. Yes, honey. So I'm going to take that And I'm just adding just a little bit to the brush. Okay, I'm going here along my jawline, on my forehead, and along my neck. So just lightly adding product on each side, and my neck. I have to put more on my neck. And I'm gonna blend it in with the rest of the concealer as well. So the foundation, oh, gotta be careful not to mess up the Ankara wrap. So I'm gonna add more foundation and putting some on my neck, around my jaw. Under my eyes. So what made me get a different foundation this time, as I was saying, pretty much this foundation is waterproof. So this is my first time trying it. I sweat a lot. It's really hot in Texas, and I'm going out to an event where I will be outside, outdoors, and I know I'm going to be photographed, so I need to make sure that my makeup is on point and it's not melting off my face. So this is a really good shade for my skin color. It's actually different from what I was wearing before. This is NC50. So in Studio Sculpt, I am a shade NC or NW43. So the lady convinced me at the MAC store to buy the NC50. After actually trying different colors, I decided to go with this one. I think it's a pretty good match. Because they don't make NW43 in this formula. So sometimes you just gotta do the next best thing. You know? Okay. So this is what it looks like to basically have the concealer under your eyes, and then you put the foundation on and it looks a little bit less blotchy. You've already corrected your skin color underneath, the different, because everyone has different pigments on different parts of their skin. So mine is really dark, is a little bit darker along under my eyes. So by adding the concealer to my under eye, it helps even out the tone. So if you notice that. All right, so next what I'm going to do is add more concealer. I'm going to contour. I use a darker foundation to contour. One of my favorites, I know it's not a contour stick, but it's a foundation stick, and it's from Black Opal. It's called Suede Mocha is the color. For those who do not know what contouring is, you're just adding a darker color so that when the light hits your face, it looks more sculpted. So that essentially is what contouring is. So I like to take my Black Opal, take my Black Opal and go in and contour my face. I have a round face, so I like to contour right under my cheek to give it a little bit of a slimmer look. I contour around my nose and around my forehead, and where else? My jawline, to kind of give me a slimmer, sleeker look. I look like I maybe lost about 10 pounds, honey, just contouring my face. So, you know, that's why I do that. So let's start first with, I'm going to put my highlight on, which is going to be my LA Girls Pro Concealer in a medium beige. So whenever you're contouring, you have a highlight color and you have a darker color. So this is going to be my highlight. I'm putting it under my eye, I was going to say eye bags. I ain't got no bags. Stop playing. No, under my eyes. And this is probably 2 shades lighter than my natural skin color. So thus the term highlight. So you don't want to add too much because you don't want to cake it on. But this is pretty much the color that I use. I do a shade along the bridge of my nose. And I go to my Cupid's bow here. And here. And you can go here. And these are the points that you want to stand out along your face. So, and a little bit here. So what I mean by standing out is the light. What you're doing is trying to, now that you put the foundation on your face, it kind of flattens your face. So now you're trying to create a 3D effect to your face, and that is the purpose of a highlight, because it's like a more 3-dimensional shape that you're giving your face. So let's get my brush. I use this brush here, my kabuki brush, to contour. So I'm gonna go along under my eye. I'm not trying to rub it totally in because I want that lighter effect. And I'm sorry you guys, I'm trying to get over a cold, so excuse me. Now, the kabuki brush does not get under your eye as well, so I like to use this brush. I think you're normally using this for your blush powder, but I use it for contouring, which I should probably get too. But anyway, so then you're going here. And here. And you're just blending it in. Okay, so I do, when I'm going somewhere really nice, like I am today, I would do another coat. So I'm going to add more under my eyes. Along my nose. Okay. And then I'm going to show you where I add the darker color. So along my cheekbone there, top of my forehead, and I also put it along my nose. So let me get a little brush. I'm taking a brush and I am putting some foundation. I'm putting some product along my nose or the brush so that I can paint it on my face. Okay, so the darker color gives it more of the shadow. So I want more of a shadow here and here. My face is round. So if I have a shadow here, then my cheeks are going to look wider, or up here is going to look wider than my jawline. So that is the purpose of adding the contour below my jaw and the highlight color along the fat part of my cheeks, if you get that. Okay, and then up here I'm doing like a gradual transition to my natural hairline, which you don't want a bright color that's not really your skin tone on the hairline, because it looks like makeup. So I'm just gonna go a little bit, add a little bit more here, and I'm gonna add just a little bit of the lighter color at the top, so it doesn't look like it's all dark, and it blends a little better. And I'm taking my brush, kabuki brush, and blending. So I take my contour all the way out to my ears, or my hairline, I should say. Okay, up here, I might as well use my smaller brush because I don't want my makeup to get on the fabric. So and you can use an even smaller brush to get into those lines here. So okay, the top looks blended fairly well. I'm going into the bottom now. And the good thing about this, if you mess up, you just add more stuff on, pretty much. You may not be perfect with one application. It took me just studying different techniques and finding one that works best for me. So for instance, I have a round face. You may have to contour differently depending on your face shape. This might not be the ideal contour for you. So let me blend in here. And here. And you're blending in a downward motion as well, because you want the shadow to hit the lower part of your jaw. So it looks more contoured. So I'm going to add more of that darker color along my jaw for a darker effect. Okay, so it gives that look. All right, so that is eyebrows, and that takes care of contouring. Now what I want to show you guys is how to bake. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that term. This is the powder that you use to bake your face. It's called baking. Basically what you're doing is you're putting the powder on your face to give it a more of a highlight. So I highlight pretty much in the same places that I bake, where my highlight was. Wherever I put my highlight color is, that's usually where I'm putting my powder. So it gives that polished look. So you can apply this with your brush, but what I like to do is I like to use the little sponges, because it just picks up the product just right for me. So let me get my sponge. My sponge. I always forget to put those out on the counter. Okay, so I take my Prep and Prime, my MAC Prep and Prime, and I watch where you point your Prep and Prime. I spray it. Once I spray it, I take the product and I put it in the cap, and then I dip it, and I put it on my face. So with the Prep and Prime, it picks up more powder. And this could get really messy, so be careful. So like I said, my face is round. This is how I do my bake. Yes, honey. Okay, so I'm going to add more Prep and Prime to my sponge. And I'm going along my jawline. Okay, now my chin. My Cupid's bow. And my nose. Looks funny, but I'm trying to tell you, this thing works. Okay, let me add just a little more Prep and Prime, and I'm gonna get my forehead right here, right here. Okay, now. So I usually do that first, and then I go in and do my eyeshadow. It takes time for the process, all of the powders to get into your skin. So it takes a while. I usually just do my eyeshadow while my cold. I usually just do my eyeshadow while I'm waiting. Okay, so it takes. Okay. Now this is where the fun begins, experimenting with color. So this is my MAC palette. going to try some different colors. Hopefully this turns out the way I want it to. This is pretty much just, so this is the fun part, you guys, and that is experimenting with colors. I don't know how this is going to look, so I hope that the colors that I choose, they blend pretty well. I haven't really gotten to the point where I'm comfortable with using certain colors, so I'm just trying different things to see what looks right on my skin tone, what colors I like paired together. So come have fun with me, join the fun, you guys. Okay, so now I'm taking my eyebrow brush and I'm going in to this color here. This is called Newsflash by MAC. So I'm going to use that color as a transitioning color. And what a transitioning color pretty much means is you're transitioning from your brow bone to your lid, essentially. So I'm taking this color and I'm going to pack some on here. It's an orangey color. And I just like to do it lightly first to kind of brace myself for what it's gonna look like. So, but if you ain't scared, honey, you ain't got no fear, then you just pack it on, you know? But I'm gonna add on some more on the other side lightly along the brow bone. And then go in with little tiny circles to kind of pigment it a little bit better. So I like to keep my makeup this low. I don't like to add makeup in this part. For this look, that's not what I'm going for. To me, I don't know, I just, with the way my eyes are structured, I prefer to keep it below that line. Okay, so I'm adding more. And I'm going in little circular motions to pack that product in that brow bone. Okay, I'm going to add more to go on this side. So you guys, how I choose colors is I just look at colors, I don't know, pretty much whatever inspires me, those are the colors I choose. So right now I'm really feeling this yellow, not yellow, this orange color, this green color, and this blue color. So I'm going to blend those together and hopefully create a masterpiece for you guys. Okay, so after I do that, I go to my lower lid and I choose a color for that. And I think I'm going to go with the green since I haven't, this is my first time using the green. So let's see how it turns out. Okay, I'm going to pack it on my lower brow, or my lower lid. Like that. Grabbing more for the other side. And again, I just keep this on my lower lid. So, I'm adding more. And you just want to make sure that where you're applying it on your eye, it looks even. So yes. Okay. So the color that I chose on the outer lid, I'm going to go now and put on my lower lid here, or under my eye. And just be careful not to get it in your eye. So it's gonna look like a haze, kind of like a hazy look. You're gonna add on both sides. To me, adding the color on the lower lid gives a little more finished look when you have the colors to match at the bottom. Doesn't necessarily have to be a lot, but to me it just gives it a more polished look. So I'm going to add a little bit of the green. I can't really talk while this is going on. So added the green. I have my transition color. And now to add the blue. This is going to be the middle color. So I'm going to take it here. Be careful how much you have on your brush. You guys, don't be afraid to experiment. This is how you learn the type of colors that you really like and the type of colors that you don't like together. So don't be afraid. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend in those colors. As you're blending, just remember that you're just trying to do like a seamless transition from one color to the next. So I'm blending in the orangey color and the blue. Do that first on both eyes. And then I'm going to blend the green with the blue. what it looks like so far. Okay, so I checked out my eyes and I like more green at the bottom, so I'm going to pack on more green. I'm using a different brush to pack it on. So I'm going to close my eyes and show you. I'm doing more green to the lower lid. Another trick is to spray with that Prep and Prime. I'm gonna add more. Make it even brighter. Okay. This is how you get the colors really, really bright. Okay, so check out that green. Now I'm going to add more on the opposite eye. Like an emerald green. Have to get the colors for you guys. Okay, so now there's more green. I'm going to now blend it just a bit. Check that out. Here's a close-up of what the blending looks like so far on the eyeshadow. Okay, so I have more green. I'm adding to the lower lid on the opposite side. And I'm learning the greater the pigment, the better this looks. So I'm just pretty much packing on the green for a flawless look. Trying to be careful not to go up too high. Like with this one, I think I went up just a tad bit too high. So I'm going to add more, actually like a pink color to make it look more purpley instead of blue for a better transition. So, purple color, or the pink color that I used. Check it out now. Okay. Yes. Now, honey, I need to put some CoverGirl Lash Blast on my lashes. So this lash CoverGirl Lash Blast, it is awesome, but it's so tricky to add your lashes on without getting that black part or any mascara on your eyeshadow. So just be careful when you're using it, not to get it on your eyeshadow. And it coats pretty thick. So I have not had the need to use any fake lashes as of yet. Try to avoid clumping by letting it dry just a little bit before you add on the next layer. So that's 2 so far on this eye. I'll just open up my eyes just to kind of let it fan out some. So that is 2 layers. I think if I put any more on, I'll be looking like a drag queen right here. Let's go for one more. To get that diva look. So you don't usually put on any mascara until you are finished with and pleased with your eye makeup, your eyeshadow. So now, okay, we gotta make sure we put some on the bottom as well. And just be careful because it's so hard for me to put my mascara on the bottom of my eyelashes. If you get too close, it gets on the skin. So be careful. But if it does get on your skin, because we are not perfect, you can use a little bit of concealer and kind of start over from there. But who wants to start over? Okay. Check me out. Let that dry for a little bit. While we're letting that dry, I am going to address my lips. I have a little lip balm here I like to use before I put on any type of lipstick, especially matte lips. Yes, just feels so nice and soft. Okay, so now I'm going to start removing my bake, honey, my powder. my Ben Eye. Again, I'm using the Ben Eye banana powder, and I'm going to use my brush. This is like a blush brush to remove the powder. And I like this brush because you get to go in the little corners like that to get that powder out. So my face has been baking, honey, for probably over 20 minutes. And ideally, that's about how long you want to bake. Okay. Just check out anywhere that you may have harsh lines and blend it in. You can also use this brush for a more softer look. Yes, love it. So after we bake, then I highlight even more. I go into my highlighter. This is pretty good. This is actually Cheeky Bronze from MAC. I have another one that I'm testing, which is gold. So it just really depends on the type of highlight you're trying to do. I think I'm going to try the gold this time. It's more, it has more gold, yellow tone in it, as opposed to the Cheeky Brown is more pink. So I'm going to add it here, here. And the reason I'm adding it with my fingers is because it's in a little case. Going to add it here. This is how tiny the case is. Here. Here. Pretty much everywhere that I put my highlight. My Ben Eye powder, I'm adding this highlight. Could add some here. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my brush, smooth it out. And this gives you a more polished look. Just keep in mind, wherever you're adding the highlighter, that is where the light is going to hit your face. So one other place I want to add it is my forehead. And just kind of blend it on out. So you see that is where the light is capturing on my face for a nice shine. See that? So I'm going to add a little more here. Nice golden highlight. Love it. Okay, so on top of that, I am going to add a little bit of my cheeky bronze, just because I want a more pink tone to transition down to my cheeks. So I'm going to put just a little bit here and here. And then I have Swiss Chocolate by MAC. I'm going to add to continue to contour my cheeks. So these are all blushes, pretty much. And you're just going in to blend those colors so that you get a 3D shape to your cheeks. Basically, that's what you're doing. So I'm going to add a little bit more cheeky bronze to there and here. You can probably add the cheeky bronze, not the cheeky bronze, the Swiss chocolate along the perimeter of your face to kind of help with that darker contour. Okay, yes. Now I am going to do lips, honey. Let's see, what color do I want to use? Yes, so let's be bold, honey. Always be bold. I have Instigator lip color. It's a purple, and I'm going to add a metallic color over it to see what it's gonna look like. So ready, set, go. So I'm applying my Instigator. Be careful not to go outside the line. Okay. I don't want it to be super, super dark. So now I'm going to add the Metalhead. It's a metallic color. And see how that turns out. So check it out. How do you like this color? It is Instagram and Metallic Head together. I really like how it turned out. I think it's cute. Ooh. Okay, so this is totally optional, you guys, but you can go in with a inner corner eye color. So I have this gold here that I'm going to try, and you just pretty much place it right in the corners of your eye. Be careful not to get the product in your eye. Okay. Now I'm going to add to the other side. Bam. Love it. You can add the gold, more gold. You can actually use this highlighter on the inside as your highlighter as well. Okay, so now I am going to go in and brush off any loose powder along my eyes. Blend in anything that needs to be blended. Fix anything that needs to be fixed. And there you have it. So I decided to get my light so you guys can see the actual pigments of the colors that I chose. So let me just come closer so you can see my face. And I hope you guys really enjoyed the tutorial. I had so much fun picking and choosing colors with you guys. Like, who knew that it was gonna turn out like this? Not me. All I did was just choose random colors that I really liked, and I hope this tutorial gives you the guts to just try it. Just be bold. Just find some colors and just experiment with them. There's no harm in doing that. You don't know what it's going to turn out like. So this is a prime example of just trying colors and having an awesome result. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe below if you are just joining my channel. You guys, we do makeup tutorials. I do different beauty product reviews, also natural hair tutorials. So stay tuned. Thank you for joining me. Want to see what's going on in my world on a daily basis? Follow me on Instagram at @IamVanessaMcClam, no spaces, all one word, to get a glimpse of my life outside of YouTube and for more hair and beauty ideas. For business related inquiries, you can email me at iamvanessamcclam@gmail.com. I'm always looking for new products to review and small businesses to expose. Have an awesome day, and thanks again for tuning in.